Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi guys.
And tonight we'll be reviewing that 60s classic, I think would be called.
Well, I know it's a classic, but it's probably not known by too many people nowadays.
That's true.
The remake's probably more well known.
Yeah, you may have heard it before not too long ago.
Let's introduce the movie.
I'll introduce the movie. So tonight we'll be reviewing Bedazzled. That was released in 1967.
This is the original one.
Not the Brendan Fraser one.
That's a remake of this movie.
Exactly.
So the reason why we're doing this is because it was the first one, and actually, it was written by a comedian called Peter Cook. Not by name, Peter Cook.
Well, actually, it was both. It was written by Dudley Moore and Peter Cook. Both of them. They both worked on the script and the story itself.
The main script writer was Peter Cook.
Okay,
But they were a comedy duo. So Dudley Moore probably added something to it, but the main writing credits go to Peter Cook.
Okay.
Who also stars in the movie. Is the actually, it's really funny. You got Peter Cook and Dudley Moore as the two main guys in this, and main actors.
Yeah,
this
is
probably the first. But who's the main one, you reckon? Is it Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, or is it shared billing?
Probably shared billing. Considering that both of them, they would seem to be more the organisers behind the Bedazzled, because they end up hiring dear old, what's his name, Stanley Donen to do this.
Who produced it and directed it? Yeah.
Well, he produced it and directed it. Technically.
Yeah, Stanley Donen. Now, anyway, irrespective, moving right along, folks. Produced and directed by Stanley Donen, written by Peter Cook, who also stars in the movie along with his cohort Dudley Moore. The figures here might be what they cost back in those days. I'm not really sure. Or could be these figures, for today's figures. Budget was $770,000, probably American, I'd say. Box office at 1.5 mil. And it did some really good home rental sort of stuff, so it bumped it up over 2 million. It wasn't what you call a fantastic, great movie worldwide. It's more popular in the UK. Had some appeal in America, but not as much as obviously English humour is a bit different to American humour, and maybe
we've established this in the past that
things are different from country to country.
When you look at let me think, what would be a funny guy I know in the 60s or the 70s? Let me see.
I don't know.
That would be what's
I'll say Bob Hope.
Yeah. Not Bob Hope.
No.
I'm thinking of another guy who was funny back then, but today.
Benny Hill.
Yeah, Benny Hill.
Benny Hill's crap. No.
Benny Hill was funny, back then, but nowadays it's not so funny.
Say, yes, crap. It's period stuff. So and probably his popularity was probably greater in in England and Australia, and maybe New Zealand and those sort of places.
When it comes to
comedy,
anywhere, guys, I would often Are You Being Served? I like Faulty Towers. A lot of other comedy people I can care to mention,
but English
not not this guy.
Who?
Not the guy.
Benny Hill. Yeah. Well, now, Benny Hill was a funny man, and I think Benny Hill actually worked with Rowan Atkinson. I think I should say Rowan Atkinson worked with Benny Hill. I think back in the early days.
Yes.
Before Rowan Atkinson did his own thing, doing Mr. Beans and his stand-up.
So moving on, we're
digressing.
Digressing as per usual. So let's discuss who stars in it and who stars in what role.
Well, there's quite a few people involved. I'll only go through a couple of them. And no disrespect to anybody living or dead. There you go. Now, Peter Cook plays George Spiggott, alias the Devil. Satan, Beelzebub,
Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness and all other good groovy things. Dudley Moore plays Stanley Moon. a shy little man who wants to kill himself because he's not happy with life.
Yeah, I think his name's funny.
Yeah, oh, reminds you of Keith Moon. No, Eleanor Bron plays Margaret Spencer, the love interest of Stanley Moon. But Stanley won't talk to her. He's shy.
Very shy.
Now Raquel Welch plays a bit of what would you call a cameo?
A cameo, like 7 minutes cameo.
Yeah,
if you
and she
call.
plays Lilian Lust. She's one of the 7 deadly sins. I cannot imagine anyone else playing a lustful-looking woman better than she did in this movie. She was really good.
Yeah, even though she had a small role in this, she appears on the posters. If you look at the posters,
I think
Mike,
she was. Yeah.
you'll see her a lot in those posters.
Yeah.
You don't see too much of. Well, you may see Dudley and Peter in the poster,
but
obviously, but you see her in a lot of the posters.
Yeah, so I won't go all through the other people. They won't mean much to anybody. I shouldn't think.
I often thought before I watched this movie, I thought for a minute that Raquel Welch was going to be the devil, because years later, in the Brendan Fraser's version, we see a female version of the devil.
Liz Hurley played the devil.
Yes, I think that according to the producers on the remake, they wanted a female model lady to play the devil. So they kind of went ahead and hired Hailey.
Liz Hurley.
Yeah, to portray her. I think it's a good idea. I thought it was one of their best ideas.
She looked good too.
Original.
Yeah.
Well, not original.
Anyway,
it was a new idea.
They took Peter Cook's script and rewrote it a tad.
Yes.
They gave it the treatment. Now, anyway, irrespective. We did talk about the remake. I can't see anything else I can say prior to. Oh, by the way, for those of you who know Barry Humphries, comedian extraordinaire, he also did a cameo in this movie as well. I can't think of anybody else I need to mention. So, without further ado, do you want to do your bit?
Yes. So I'll start at the beginning.
Good
Stanley
place to
Moon
start,
is kind of feeling a bit down that he's not able to talk to this girl who he works with at Wimpy's.
Wimpy's, for those of you living in America, Wimpy's is a bit like Burger King or something.
Yeah, or Macca's or whatever.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a well-known burger place in the UK.
In England, yeah.
So anyway, he then tries praying to God about trying to give him the courage to get him to talk to the girl, his love interest. But his prayers are answered by someone else, as it turns out. By you know who, the devil. So the devil,
He's a very charming man.
Yeah. So while he attempts to take his own life, Dudley's Stanley Moon's life, he kind of stumbles upon the devil, and the devil offers him several wishes for his soul.
And a formal contract, well, legal. Yeah.
Yeah, legit, whatever. And there was it's really good.
Never trust a lawyer.
There's some funny stuff in this, and I won't go into too much of the information. Anyway,
carry on.
So he then signs a contract, and at first he decides to become what's the word to describe this? What he wishes to be?
Well, Stanley was not a very confident man and very shy, and he wasn't very good with words. And he wanted to be somebody who was very...
inarticulate, whatever.
He was inarticulate, so he wanted to be someone who could really be articulate. Someone who could talk and
express his feelings.
Express his feelings properly, and etc., and be more confident and outgoing. And they made him so.
Yeah, and he spoke with a Welsh accent, I think.
Exactly.
I think that's what it says on Wikipedia. Yeah, so anyway, he does this, but when he tries to get in the sack with Margaret, she screams, rape, rape, rape.
They're going really, really good, and she was on the same page and talked about freedom and so and this, that, and the other, and
touching
blah,
and
blah,
stuff.
and all those good. As soon as it came to the
You
crunch,
know what?
rape, rape.
Yeah.
So that ended that first wish.
Yeah, and then, well, just so you guys know how he ends up ending the wish, he has to blow a raspberry.
No, that.
Yes, it's so funny.
Well, it comes up more funny later on, one of the other wishes.
Yeah, and eventually he appears with the devil again. The devil's doing a lot of odd jobs
Little
here and there.
mischievous little things around the countryside. But anyway, we won't go into those. That's just sideline.
Yes. The next wish he does, he wants to become a wealthy man, a wealthy millionaire who can give her lots of things and stuff like that. But every time he tries
But wait a minute, you want her to be sexually active.
And when she's sexually
Very
active, she's
physical.
sexually active with everyone else
Except
but
him.
him. And every time he tries to interact with her, he keeps giving her a gift in advance.
Yeah, Mona Lisa, a fur coat,
A jewelry neck
jewelry,
bracelet.
different things, and she just, oh, it's lovely. It's just original, okay. And then she goes off and has sex with somebody else.
And yeah, and again blows raspberry. Yeah, what's the next one? I can't.
The next one. He becomes a rock star.
Oh yeah, this one is really funny.
This is really short too.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of the lyrics, and I don't like his singing too much.
Oh, he's
not being
okay.
rude or anything.
He wasn't too bad.
I mean, I do like.
It was like comedy put on, so yeah.
I do like the music itself when you think about it.
Very 60s sort of psychedelic-y type stuff. Yeah.
And when his set is over, another singer comes on board.
Looks just
and
like the devil.
yes, throughout the scene, you see the devil pop in here and there.
Yeah, he's in every scene.
He describes it in that he appears in many.
No, he says there's a little bit of me in everybody. So he shows up in just about he does show up in every scene.
Yes.
As a fly in the ointment, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he tries. He outstages Stanley in this scene.
And all the girls go running to the devil instead of Stanley, and Stanley is
and just like
back to square one again.
Yeah. And the next one, he actually it was an accident when I think about it.
Oh, he said, I wish I was a fly on the wall watching what she's doing at the moment. And lo and
Oh,
behold...
Julie Andrews.
Yeah, that's another point. Every time they had to cast a spell to make the wish come true, the magic word was Julie Andrews. Now...
I think that's funny.
I don't know why.
I think it's more of a joke.
But no, I know it's a joke. But I'm just wondering why they picked on poor Julie Andrews. But I'm thinking back, Julie Andrews is back in those days, a very attractive or very beautiful young woman back in those days.
Known.
And maybe Peter Cook had the hots for her. I really don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it was Peter Cook's idea. Who knows?
He bunged it in there, didn't he?
Anyway, so...
He was the devil. He wrote the main part of the script. So,
Yes. Anyway, so they appear as flies, and Stanley is not pleased because he was tricked into saying what he wished for.
Be careful what you wish for. You might get it. It became a fly.
Yeah.
Oh, Peachy.
Yeah, while this is going on, Margaret is trying to find out what happened to Stanley because she's called in by the police to investigate the possible chance that he may have committed suicide.
And actually, when they appear as flies, are actually in the mortuary looking at dead bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, and
the policeman's hitting on her.
Yeah, the head policeman guy is hitting on her, and dearest Stanley doesn't want this happening, so he tries to fly in and tries to attack the inspector. But unfortunately, he had to blow a raspberry to save them from getting zapped by butt spray.
Flies don't have lips like ours, and tongues probably might have tongue, but he can't go easily. So he managed eventually to get the out. Excuse me, I've had this cough for the past 12 months.
So the next wish, it pretty much sounds... You first think it sounds legit, because in this one he says, that the devil suggested that maybe you should wish that you were both happy and well, healthy people, and you
And
have
away,
two wonderful kids in the
and away
yard,
from the
and a nice
nightlife
house,
and then
and all that
social life
stuff.
and everything. In this, in secluded area, not house in the country.
And then the next minute we find out that she's married to someone else, and she's just having an affair with Stanley on the side. But nothing happens there because it's not.
And Peter Cook, playing her husband, whatever his name is one of the nicest guys you can meet.
Yeah.
And they felt so guilty about their having an affair, and they broke up their relationship.
Yeah, yeah, it was funny. And the next moment, Stanley has second thoughts about doing his next wish.
I don't want another wish. Yeah.
Yeah, and he tries to walk away, but the devil doesn't say take no for an answer. Not in a nasty way. He's a nice guy when you think about it in this movie, and he tries to get Stanley to relax by taking him to an amusement park.
Yeah, and stuff. Anyway,
That's where sometimes these things he just leaves them off edge.
Yeah. And anyway, and they sit down here, and he documents this right down to the nth degree. He wants to be able to meet his girl, this lady, love of his life, for the first time, and her to fall madly in love with him. They want him in a quiet place. No distractions to your life, blah, 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 and everything else.
Yeah.
And unconditional love and everything you can wish for.
But
He left one or two little things out,
yeah,
and it became a nun,
a female.
a female nun in a nunnery where the nuns weren't allowed to speak to each other.
Yeah. It's a silly
It's
situation.
lovely. I thought it was really clever. He got everything he wished for. He didn't specify sex or location.
No.
So
He
he didn't get any sex.
No, in fact, he then runs back to. At first, he tries to blow a raspberry, but it doesn't work.
No, and nothing's happening. The devil's not listening to him.
Yeah.
Why is this so?
Well, he runs back to the devil's club. See, he has a club
he
in
has a
England.
day job. Yeah,
Yes.
he runs a club.
And he asks him why he hasn't responded, and he says that you've used up all your wishes because you, on behind the scenes, he also bought him a raspberry. What was it called?
A raspberry ice block or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah. And he said that wasn't one of my wishes. Well, it was.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Oh, by the way, here's a sixpence I borrowed from you for the ice block," and that was rather cute.
Yeah, and now that dear old Stanley realizes that he's stuck as a woman and a nun. What worse fate can draw upon you?
He didn't look like a female, though, did he?
No, in fact, he still looks like Daniel
Stanley
Moore.
Moon. Dudley Moore, yeah.
Yeah. So
Stanley,
he's
yeah.
not changed completely. Like he hasn't morphed into a woman or anything like that.
No, didn't look like Raquel Welch. No, what a shame.
Yes. So
No,
anyway, so while Stanley's grieving, everyone is celebrating dear old the devil's going to go to heaven.
Yeah, well, we have to digress here. The devil and God apparently years ago had a bet on who could reach. I think it was 1 billion souls.
1 billion souls.
And the devil won.
Yeah.
And part of the thing is that once he got over 1 billion souls, he was allowed to apply for a place in heaven again.
Yeah. And so, while they're having a bit of a farewell do, whatever.
No, sorry, 100 billion, not 1 billion. 100 billion souls.
Okay, 100.
A lot.
So, so the devil goes away and gets himself dressed in his white attire, whatever. He's always wearing a little bit of red here and there.
Oh, he always had a dark suit on with red socks or something or other. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a subtle hint about him.
He likes red.
Yes. Anyway, eventually, Stanley feels a bit grieved. Like he feels like all he wants now is to become himself again.
Exactly.
How he wants it. And
the way he would have,
but the only way he could be himself again is to have his soul. But unfortunately, he doesn't have it.
The devil's got his little kit bag.
But eventually, the devil kind of feels pity for dear old Stan and says, "I'll give you." seeing as I have enough souls to...
And I got a couple extra.
And a couple extra. I don't think I need yours.
I'll give it back.
Yeah, so he gives back the contract and tells them to burn it, and then...
He said, once you burn, everything will go back to normal.
Yes, and Stanley heads off with the contract while the devil goes off to heaven to talk to God.
For his job interview.
Of course, dear old God. Well, he fails the interview.
You don't see God. All you hear is a voice. God,
Yeah,
the voice of God. Yeah,
it's an interesting location for the heaven scene.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah, not clouds, just a simple landscape.
Yeah,
you know,
in nice green. It looks like
very big greenhouse.
looks like a big greenhouse conservatory, something or other. All these plants. It looks very beautiful. And yeah.
Yeah, exactly how I imagine if heaven were.
Heaven would be really nice, yeah. And there would be no grasshoppers and stuff to eat the plants, and no caterpillars.
Anyway, so he failed the entrance exam, whatever, because he
did a good deed by giving Stanley his soul back.
But
And he said he let loose. That made me feel really, really good. And you're not supposed to feel really, really good. You're supposed to do it because it's the right thing.
Yeah.
He said, you did the right thing, but you didn't do it for the right reason. So he didn't get accepted in heaven. So the devil has been sent back to earth to continue his mischief.
Yeah, and eventually he tries to get Stanley to give him back the soul and try to give it to him properly, but dear old Stanley already burnt it and is back to being his ordinary self again.
Too late.
And he finally ups the courage to ask Margaret out. And she says that
she's busy
tonight, but
maybe another day.
Sometime another
lovely.
day. So he's given a chance.
See?
And
he didn't say no. No. See, he was shy. How many years was he working there with her? 4 years or something like that?
Yeah, say 4.
4 or 5 years, something. Yeah, you've been there and didn't ask her out once. What is wrong with this man? Right.
Eventually, the devil appears and tells him, "I'm willing to let you go out with her, tonight and every night." But Stanley, he realizes he wants to do this on his own now.
He's going to have a go by himself. Lovely.
And God just laughs on the devil's end. And the devil says in his revengeful term, "Okay, I'll cover the world with tasty freeze and wimpy burgers. I'll make this whole world so noisy you would be sick of it."
Yeah.
And he says, "No wonder you have so few friends." And then God continues laughing while the devil continues looking for new victims. The end.
Yeah. By the way, you might be hearing some funny noise in the background. It's called rain going down our gutters and different things. It's peeing down raining here at the moment. So if anyone says, "Oh, there's noise in the background of your audio," it's raining. Okay.
Yes. So that's pretty much the whole movie, and I think it's not too bad when I think about it.
Now, what are we going to do? I'll go into my usual bit about critical responses. It's sort of a mixed bag. I won't go into too many. The film was well received in the UK. Obviously, a UK movie in England. Obviously, it's English humour suited for English people. Okay. It didn't fare as well in the United States. Obviously, it had mixed reviews there. Some people who appreciate English humour obviously liked it. Even on things like Rotten Tomatoes gave it 78% approval rating.
Cool.
Some of the people from the different magazines and newspapers gave it a reasonably good review in most cases. Some thought, it was campy and whatever and yada 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 and blah blah blah. But overall, they thought it was a halfway decent movie at least. And that because you got to look at the movie. It was a comedy. It was not a serious movie. It was. I wouldn't say it was done on the cheap, but it was done quite well.
I thought it was pretty cool.
It was a good basic storyline. It was a fun movie. It was not made to be a main contender, I don't think, to rival the top movies of its day. It was just a good movie made in that period. Now, saying in that period, if anybody watches this movie today, you got to remember it's done in the 60s and reflects the 60s style, humour, the way they did film acting and film making. So it's a bit different of today. It's a bit like looking at a silent movie. It's different. So if you're going to look at this movie, you have to allow for that fact. But I think it's a good movie. It's been done well.
I think so.
Yeah.
Originally, it was titled at earlier stages of development. It was titled The Sale.
The Sale. That's a good name.
I'm
Actually,
glad it's called Bedazzled, not The Sale, because who wouldn't want?
well, the sale doesn't sound like you're going bloody sailing or something or other, or you get or something on sale at Woolworths or something or other, or Walmart or something or other, or
Exactly. I gotta admit though, whenever I think of this movie, I do think of Raquel Welch a lot.
Oh, Raquel looks so good, and she wasn't wearing much, so you think of what movie she's in? I think 1 Million BC. I think it was about the same period. She wasn't wearing much in the poster for that, wearing a little bit of fur around the breast and a little bit of fur around the bottom bit. Well, she's wearing a bikini or a bra and panties in this, and she looked so damn good. That body of hers was lovely.
I thought she was great in the Muppets when she was a guest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was in the Muppets show and one of the episodes.
A lot of people say if you haven't made it unless you've been on the Muppet Show, and honestly, Alice Cooper was on it. Wasn't Vincent Price on it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and Mark Hamill, I think.
Mark Hamill, yeah. Other good people, a lot of other singers and actors and
Yeah,
everyone.
and Roger Moore too.
Yeah, Richie Havens, I think, was on it. Maybe it wasn't. No,
And I think Bob Hope was on there too. So
Bob
he was,
Hope,
and he was a
yeah.
big star for his day. He even did charity works and comedies.
Unbeknownst to you, possibly, one of the Vietnam War was on. He did a lot of these CSO shows.
I heard that.
They went out there, and he would go out religiously. It could be once or twice or 3 times, whatever, and go around and see the troops in the war zones and bring musicians and pretty ladies, and he'd do a comedy routine or two and whatever. And it was because these guys up there, there's no TV, there's no video, nothing. They're out in the war zone, and they'd bring a show to them. And Bob Hope, with like him, hate him, whatever, I think the guy was a funny man and made some good movies. But as a British person going to live in America and embracing the American community the way he did, the country, he sort of pledged allegiance to the American flag, and he was. I think he went in there and he spoke on behalf of the war movement, fundraisings and different things. He was really a proactive person during the Vietnam War period.
Yeah, and other than Raquel Welch, who plays Lust, there were other sins. The seven deadly sins.
There's sloth and there's greed, and there's avarice, and there's anger, and whatever.
And there was what's the
vanity?
Vanity.
Yeah, it's all the good 7 deadly sins, and they're all alive and well. Yeah.
In this movie, even though they don't get top billing as Raquel Welch, I mean,
Raquel was well known, and it's a lot of English movies had the odd American actor in it. I think back in those days there were a lot of back-to-back arrangements of the studios, so they would throw a couple of American actors in different movies and stuff. This was a lower budget movie, but had a ubiquitous American actor in it. Raquel, yummy.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Very yummy.
But there are some really good funny moments between different sins. Like the fact that war is very pushy and the one that's one of the deadly sins was war or violence.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Anger, sorry.
Not war.
Sorry, it was anger.
They got the front door of the club.
Sorry,
He's
anger.
a bouncer. Yeah.
He was wearing a T-shirt that said "Make war, not love."
As an angry person would.
I kind of it's hilarious when I look at that shirt.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't mind getting a T-shirt. I'd make war not. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Yeah.
Anyway, I did like the other ones like Envy. She was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And Vanity was who wore.
No, Envy was Barry Humphries. He was the guy laying on the bed saying, "Oh, yeah,
hello.
I got a horrible room. You haven't seen it. This is a nice room. This is his room. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah."
And he speaks in that feminine accent, which I kind of like.
Well, Barry Humphries, I believe, is gay.
That explains
I
it.
could be wrong, but I believe he is. I could be wrong. But he's always put them. He used to do a stage show, dressed up as a female a lot.
I see.
Dame Edna Everidge.
Yeah, well, I do like that feminine voice. It sounded funny and sounded amusing.
Hello, darlings. Yeah.
And I did like the vanity guy, even though he doesn't speak much.
He was got the mirror.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he carried around a mirror that's big enough to cover your whole view of anything.
You know, he strapped his belt from him so you couldn't see where you're walking, and he fell downstairs, I think.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious, that bit. I do like the skit, some of the funny moments between Dudley and Peter.
In between each of the wishes, there was a bit of a skit where they see Peter Cook, being the devil, part of his job was to create mischief, little mischief as well as big mischief. So he's doing things when he is first talking to Dudley Moore, or Mr. Moon, Stanley, in his office or back of his club. He was doing things like, opening up a box of Agatha Christie novels and ripping out the back page so he wouldn't see what the climax was. He's getting a new record out of its cover and putting a scratch on it and putting it back in and sending off to a shop. That sort of stuff. Little funny little things like that, and talking to a pigeon saying, "Now come on, darling, go and poop on that man over there."
Yeah, I liked it when he was releasing the bird. He says, "Go ahead, release your doo-doo."
Yeah, it's really... It's crap, puerile rubbish, and it's funny.
I do like the other one. When he was, let me see, what was it? When he was, playing a guy who was a door-to-door green. Just a guy.
Oh no,
offering.
They came round in a van. This lady's house says, "We're from the so-and-so green something or other mouthwash company.
Yeah.
Do you have 10 bottles in your cupboard?" "Oh no." And still a lady was sent down the road to buy 10 bottles of this mouthwash. If she came back and answered a simple question, she would win something or other. I can't remember what it was now. Something or other, and a date with a date with Alfred Hitchcock going to dinner or something. Can't remember what it was. And when she went down the road, the shop came back, they went in there and started eating strawberries and cream out of the cupboard and whatever. And when she came back, she couldn't answer the question. And they said, "Oh, you forfeit £10 for that as well."
Yeah, he took money from her container thing.
And Dudley Moore or Stanley says, "That wasn't very nice." I said, "What do you mean?" And the devil says, "What do you mean wasn't nice? She was prepared to lie and cheat to win the competition. So I just got penalised." So
anyway.
These little things so cute.
Another one I liked was when they were strolling down down the street, and the devil is changing the parking meters to
expire and writing tickets.
And
I reckon there must be a guy doing that out there. I've been caught a few times, guys.
And there was a moment where he explains why he was banished to hell.
Because God was loved. A very lovely guy. He's a very lovely guy.
Yeah.
And then people walked around there, the angels and everybody, going around, "Oh, you're so lovely." And
so
and he just wanted a bit of the action.
Yeah, there was a scene a skit where he gets up on a post office box, one of those red ones, and he tells him that, "Pretend I'm God and you are me." And he says, "All you have to do is dance around and say how wonderful I am." And so Dudley does a bit of a dance routine for say about 1 minute.
And he says, "This is getting boring." And he said, "Exactly."
Yes. Yeah. I thought the dance routine was funny, especially the gestures.
Yeah, and the devil,
I keep thinking that was probably all done by Dudley, or
whatever.
But not scripted or anything
choreography.
like that.
No, it would have been in there. Just dance around here. Whatever, but he said, "I just wanted a couple of angels to worship me. That's all it was."
Yeah.
And so it was quite funny the way it was done. I mean, there was no what's the word? They weren't making fun of religion or anything.
Yeah.
It's just a look at the old Faust story, where Faust sold his soul to the devil for whatever, and it's a retelling of that story.
I think there were a few people out there who put the movie to question about whether it's a bit of a threat to religion per se. I remember the same thing happened with Andrew Lloyd Webber's Jesus Christ Superstar. A lot of people put that up to question whether or not that would threaten the future
Well,
generations
here's
of
something
the
you
Bible.
don't know, because I lived through that period. When that came out, early 70s, the church actually accepted it. They thought it was a good thing. Because even though it wasn't 100% accurate in its presentation, it says it made people go to the theatre to see something semi-religious and made them a bit more inquiring and might have dragged some people back to church. Or not dragged, encouraged them to go to church and seek more information about their faith.
Exactly.
So they weren't terribly, the church wasn't upset about it.
Yeah, it's just that other people, people protested about
there's
it.
always
said
someone
some
going to be
nasty-
protesting. All the do-gooders out there and say, I don't like this because it's not what I think's really good.
Yeah.
But what about the rest of the bloody world?
Yeah, I think that I often think when it first came out, it was called into question how much information they're going to be using and how truthful they'll keep to the story.
Well, okay, we got on religion. Okay, I'm going to take you back through a few things here. Back probably in the 60s, they made a movie called The King of Kings. I can't remember who made it. I can't remember the name of the actor at the moment who played Jesus, a really handsome guy. My other daughter, thought he was so lovely, and he was a very nice guy. But
He
the point
has
is,
the beautifulest, bluest eyes I ever did see.
but anyway, irrespective, and the point is, it wasn't historically and biblically accurate. It was a movie based on the life of Jesus, or the end of it, and it was a good movie. I was in a Catholic school at the time, and they even got a print of it to show to the kids in school to give you an idea of what Jesus was like back in those days.
Yeah,
So,
I remember another
it's-
version a while back, which my sister at the time objected to it because she thought it was too dark. And I said to her one time that, well, she didn't like it because...
No, that was a great story ever told.
Yeah, that's the greatest story.
The other one.
Yeah, that one. She didn't like the how dark it was.
It was a darker one, yeah.
But back then, they didn't have too much candlelight. They probably had.
No, I don't think she meant darker that way. This darker and deeper.
I know.
And drama-wise,
I know.
it wasn't as warm and fluffy like The King of Kings.
It was not supposed to be like.
No, but it was a heavier going. Yeah, but it was a good movie. I think Michael Rennie played Peter or something in it. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, life back then was hard and
Yeah, it was.
and tough and
look, well,
not a pretty much a woman friendly time back
Well,
then.
you bring it forward now. They've done the Passion of the Christ. Now that was made by Mel Gibson. Was it? Mel Gibson, yeah. And they even do that in the Aramaic language and stuff.
I'm amazed
and
how
that
they
was
did that.
really brutal movie. And so people go, "Oh, it's nothing like anything else that's been done before."
Yeah, I like to think that Mel
Gibson.
I think it was his way of showing the world that
Well, he was a Catholic.
He was
He's a Catholic, yeah.
He's a Catholic, bear in mind.
And he probably believes,
he
yeah.
must have wanted to do his own version of
But as accurate as possible.
as accurate as possible.
As I think it would. Yeah, so to get the romanticized stuff out of it
Yeah.
and try to make it as accurate as possible.
Yeah, and he wanted to.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to show the gory side to.
Yeah,
well,
and
not the
that's
gory side.
No, it's
But
the brutal side,
the
what
brutal
Jesus
sides
actually
to
went
it.
through. So
Yeah.
the only reason I talk about this is because, I mean, if you make a religious movie, or even hint at it, The Passion of Christ, King of Kings, Great Story Ever Told, all that sort of stuff, even Ben-Hur and Moses, that sort of stuff, it's not going to be frowned upon by the church if it's reasonably accurate or proactive in making people start thinking about their spirituality. So they're not going to go, "Oh, we don't like any of these things." Well, I'm sorry, the church doesn't squash everything. If it's halfway, if it's pretty good, they'll let it go. So where do these other do-gooders go along and say, "I don't like that, let's get it cancelled or squashed or taken off"? Nah, grow up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let the church do it. Not these mothers clubs and whatever.
yeah. Yeah, I seem to remember when I was watching The Exorcism of Emily of Rose, whatever her name is. I think that in that story, it said that to let people know that God is alive and
Yeah.
around is to reveal the show that there is a devil out
Yeah,
there too.
yeah, and yeah, that's it. Exactly right.
To give the impression that not only is there darkness in this world, but there's also
It's dark and
light.
light. It's dark and light. Yeah. So yeah, and this wasn't meant to be a spiritual discussion, but we're just saying that when you make a movie which touches on spirituality, religion, whatever, as long as it's not bad and negative and derogatory, derogatory is that the word? Whatever. It's no one's going to really complain about it as long as it's done in good fun and good taste, and this is and that falls in that category. I mean, does a Bedazzled movie with Brendan Fraser? Well, same thing. He sold his soul to the devil, and at the end, the devil actually wanted Brendan Fraser as her partner because she was a female devil, and she liked Brendan Fraser, and that's at the end of the movie. And that one says she got her man. I believe. I think I haven't seen that one for years, so I think she actually got him.
No, actually, in the end,
He changed his mind.
He actually made his last wish was that he wishes for the girl he liked to have a good life, and that was a sort of it kind of cancelled out the contract because it was a selfless act.
What a good way to cancel a contract.
Yeah, meaning he was willing to give his last wish to someone else.
Yeah. See, and so yeah.
Daniel,
that meant he got his soul back too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, lovely.
In the end, he ended up with someone a lot more better, and
The devil, Liz Hurley wasn't too bad. That was,
I gotta admit, I did like the fact in that how
Liz Hurley.
I did like the movie, that one, and there was also a deleted scene where where he's a rock star, which was never in that one, the new one.
Yeah.
And it's a shame they never used that because I would have loved it if they brought some elements from the previous other.
Yeah, but they
one
made him a sporting star in this one, in the Brendan
I know,
Fraser
but
one,
in
a
this one-
basketball player or something.
Yeah, but in this one he was kind of in the deleted scene. It was like a hard rock, sort of like psychedelic rock stuff.
Yeah. But they couldn't do it. It wasn't going to work. Because
Not psychedelic. It was more like
What?
in Brendan Fraser's one. It was more of a Alice Cooper type one.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I haven't seen the movie for years, so I must have a look at that one again.
I'm ashamed that it never came out in the new Bedazzled, for gosh sakes. It was a bit sad. I kind of looked it up when I was looking at deleted scenes from that movie.
Anyway, irrespective,
it was a shame they never used it. It would have been an awesome take on it.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a interesting step.
Exactly. Anyway, I can't think of anything else I want to talk about. We got into spirituality for sure, but only because we're likening it to other movies and stuff here, and people's perception of it. Now, I don't want to bore these people any more than we have to.
Yeah. So, I guess this would. Let's see. This is about.
Rate it?
Yeah. So we'll rate it now.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to give it. I'll give it about a 9, I think. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 9 too.
Yeah, I mean it could have been a bit more polish on it, but yeah, apart from that, it wasn't a
But
bad
I do
movie.
like the fact they use locations around the UK. I don't mind that too much.
No, that's the whole point. I mean, some people, when they're making a movie, I don't know about America so much, but in England, especially Hammer Studios, used to do a lot of location stuff.
Yeah, I certainly liked it that how much I do like UK comedies back then. I especially like the Monty Python ones too.
Monty Python,
the TV show.
beautiful.
If you're familiar with it.
I think they went well. I think they went global. The Americans would have known Monty Python a lot. I think Life of Brian.
I remember watching the TV show when I was little.
TV show was interesting, yeah, but you had to be stupid. No,
Hey.
no. It was really weird humour. You had to be really switched on to British humour to really appreciate it. So, some was just so weird and quick,
Yeah.
and some was just so, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's funny. It was funny, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta admit the other humor was pretty cool. Like I do like George and Mildred and let me see, Are You Being Served and Faulty Towers.
Oh yeah. What's the one with Frank Spencer in it?
Some of us have them.
Yeah, some others
I
will have
think
them.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a really good, but that's really weird humour sometimes. You go, and some of it's rechanneled through every episode almost, and after the end of the season, you start getting tired of it because it's been same stuff's been churned around. But I mean, it probably happens of humour and other things all around the world. They've got a theme and they just flog the theme to death. And this guy's got this thing about blah blah blah, so we'll bring it into just about every episode. It gets tiring after a while.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
you got to admit though, it's a lot better than most other TV shows. I think today Mike and I were discussing some what's his name? The guy who does Time Tunnel and the
yeah, Buglocks. Alwyn.
Alan or something.
Irwin Allen.
Irwin Allen.
Yeah. Mental block.
Yeah,
Irwin Allen.
see,
Yeah, he made a lot of that.
He made a lot of adventure, sci-fi,
Yeah, he made
and fantasy
the
stuff.
Time Tunnel, Land of the Giants. What was the other one looking at the other day?
The ocean one.
Voyage Beyond the Sea. He had his finger in a lot of pots, and he also made movies.
Yeah, and the interesting thing
Yeah,
about this
what a
is
talented
that
man.
he never got enough money to get or enough approval by the productions
No.
to allow him to finish the stories.
No, that's not what we were talking about. I was talking about Lost in Space. That was an Irwin Allen one, as far as I'm aware.
I thought we established it wasn't Irwin
Oh,
Allen.
no, yeah, but that's all the thing. Because some of the shows didn't have an ending. Lost in Space, that was done by someone else. And they were going to go for a fourth season, but they said, we're not, it was starting to cost too much money, so we canned it.
Yeah.
And that happens to some of the other things too. So you mentioned Gilligan's Island the other day, same thing.
That was 3 seasons, and then it cut it.
They cut it without actually getting him off the island.
Yeah.
So they did a movie later on, Escape from Gilligan's Island
Yeah,
or something.
3 movies they did.
Yeah. That's and Return to and different things. But yeah, I mean, you would think if they're going to cut the series short, they should have something there to wrap it up.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we're running a bit short. I want to spend the money on something else. We're going to kill it. I mean, at least it's up in the air a bit. You're going, what are you doing, guys? I mean, people. You're supposed to be entertaining people. It is making money for you.
I don't know.
Why the hell are you doing it to the people? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, irrespective.
I often question that, and I do question the fact that Lucifer, the TV series, that they haven't. I haven't heard any news whether or not they're going to be doing any more.
No,
it left it on a cliffhanger.
No, I think they are, but the coronavirus set it back. Yeah. So whether they're going to pick up the baton and run with it again, I don't know.
Yeah. Or whether to bring the guy that we saw at the end of that one, the God guy.
Yeah, God, he came to, I don't like it when my children argue or something rather, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And then it was, okay, we're getting ready for the next season, and it was supposed to be end of last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, are we going to see more of him?
No, the point is...
It's left a lot of questions.
Last year, the coronavirus stopped a lot of production.
Yeah, it has.
So I haven't been online to have a look at it. Have you been online to?
I've been sniffing around, but I haven't heard any news.
Can you Facebook anybody in it? Lucifer? Yeah.
No. I think everyone is trying their absolute hardest to find information, but it's still a little hard.
I love the Lucifer TV series. It's fun. Mm-hmm. It's
fun, entertaining, and worth watching.
He's a clown. I love. What's his name? Tom Mills.
Yeah, and I like the fact
he's a funny guy.
And I like the fact he was also a pastor's son.
Yeah, it's really he's playing the devil, and he's a pastor's son.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper, the epitome of evil on stage, is a pastor's son.
It's always his wife. Not she's a pastor or anything. I just mean her dad was a pastor.
I like pasta. Spaghetti, lasagna,
Wrong pasta.
Oh, right, okay.
Anyway,
where do we go now? We're boring these people now.
Guys.
We're talking about rubbish now. So.
I'm sorry about this. I'm trying to figure out for our next TV review, whether to do Time Tunnel or Land of the Giants.
Yeah,
I'm sort of torn between two of these productions.
We haven't done too many TV series. We've done the Discovery of Witches and
I would like to-
what else did we do? Did we do another one?
We did Lucifer and a
Lucifer,
lot of others.
No, I haven't done a lot of it. I've only done a couple of TV
Okay, a
series.
couple.
But I've done more movies. So it's about time we did another TV series.
Yeah, and most of them are some mixture of movies that did to TV series too.
Well, hey, yeah, we could do.
Like The Librarian.
Well, hey, we have done that, have we?
Yes, we did.
No, we did. I'm running out. I haven't got Alzheimer's before anyone makes a comment out there.
Yes.
It's just that I've done so bloody many.
Yes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let you guys know what the verdict is in whether we'll do Time Tunnel next time or the Land of the Giants.
Oh, Voyage of Bob and the Sea.
Well, maybe.
Because that's some good stuff. So, I mean, there's 3 good shows there.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you guys know the verdict, and
We'll pick the best one.
We'll pick the best one.
But we might refer to the other ones as well as.
Yeah, because
we don't want to bore you here going, here's another
what's the name
Irwin
of the guy?
Allen.
Irwin Allen was pretty much an awesome creator for his time.
It's like I said, as far as he did, several really, really good TV series. He tried to keep the budget down, and that's where the problem is when the budget started to creep up a little bit. The production company said no, it's getting too expensive, and they closed them down. But he also didn't he make Towering Inferno? I think he did. He's made one of those sort of movies like that, and he can make a really good movie, and he can make a TV series on a bit of a shoestring budget. And you go, wow.
Well, you gotta admit, you gotta admire those people who can work with a budget and still make a good movie out of it, or TV show, or whatever.
I mean, I don't want to cheapen anything, but I think it was George Romero who did the Living Dead movies.
Yeah, George
Romero. Alfred Hitchcock saw his movies, and he's doing these movies on a shoestring budget, and that inspired Alfred Hitchcock to start doing some of the same things. I think about the time he made Psycho.
Was it?
I think.
I'm trying to think.
No, I read somewhere that he was inspired by the likes of George Romero making a low-budget movie of reasonable quality. Because Alfred Hitchcock wanted to make movies, and he's getting trouble funding at different stages, and I think that's why he went back and used his TV crew and stuff when he made Psycho, because he still had these guys hanging around.
I think it was someone else that inspired him to do that.
I'm pretty sure it was George Romero. I'm sorry, because George Romero is the start of the cheap movies.
Yeah.
The cheap good movies.
I'm just trying to figure out if he started when he started living Night of the Living Dead. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I didn't say that was his first movie that he said, but he saw what George was doing, and he took inspiration from what George was doing, making a movie on limited budget.
Oh no, it's not him. It was actually what's his name?
I'm sure it was George.
Castle.
Oh, William Castle?
Yeah, William Castle. He was the inspiration for.
I thought it was George Romero.
Nope.
Okay. Sorry, I have been corrected. It was William Castle, who also did inexpensive, low-budget movies of reasonable quality.
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think you're right. Did William Castle do House on Haunted Hill and a few things?
Yes, Haunted House on Haunted Hill.
And that sort of stuff, yeah.
And
they were inexpensive movies.
Both of them
low budget.
did a few, gave it a bit of a mood. Yeah. That's what really inspired dear old Alfred.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, run on a budget and still make a good movie. Sorry, George, it wasn't you. It was William. Sorry, my mistake. I can't remember everything, but thank you for correcting me. Okay.
Well,
anyway,
I could be wrong again.
No, you could. You could be right because I mean, it's the same period.
Yeah, true. And they both work in the same industry.
Yeah. But William Castle was also a low-budget worker. He worked in a low-budget sort of industry.
Yes. So let's finish up because we're going too long. So this is Sarah Stephenson.
Oh, Michael here. Bye.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.